Hi everyone, and welcome to my first video tutorial, which will be focused on creating an Amazon S3 bucket on AWS. Now, I just want to mention something first of all before we get started. Now, you can either utilize your root account, and that's the account that you use when you sign into AWS to follow along with this tutorial. However, it's best practice to rather create an IAM user account and attach the permission policy of either administrator access or Amazon S3 full access. So either of the two if you're focused on an IAM user. But in any case, let's go ahead and get started. So if you have decided on that and got that organized, what we can do is search for S3. Okay, and as we can see here, Amazon S3 provides scalable storage in the cloud. So let's click on S3. Okay, so let's just wait for it to open up and then we can continue. All right, so this is the web page that you'll see the first time that you use the Amazon S3 service, or the first time that you don't have any buckets outstanding. So as you can see here, we can use Amazon S3 to store and retrieve any amount of data from anywhere. We can see, of course, that it is an object storage service. And essentially speaking, we will create Amazon S3 buckets, and in those buckets, we are going to store objects. Now, these objects are typically known as our files and our folders. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's say create bucket. And what you need to do is scroll down. So we need to fill this setup wizard in. So we can see the AWS region is set to your default region that is set on your AWS account. This can always be changed, and you can also change the region to the region that you prefer. So we can see here mine is set to US East Ohio, US East 2. Of course, you can change it to your region based on those that are available on your AWS account. Next, we need to choose a bucket name. Now, do keep in mind here that each bucket name each bucket that's created on AWS needs to be unique. So you need to make sure you choose one that hasn't been taken. If it's been taken, AWS will point you in the right direction and say, hey, it's been taken. You do need to change it. There are some rules here that you can view with the following link to see rules for bucket naming if you want to be a little bit more precise. So I'm just going to keep mine simple. So I'm going to call this Eden sort -bucket -960. So just something simple. You can give it any name that you wish here. All right, so that's all we need to do. So ensure you add in a bucket name. Okay, we can keep the following on the default. So there is a lot to Amazon S3 in detail, but we just want to keep it simple and create a bucket on Amazon S3. And we also want to learn how to upload objects. So we can leave all of this on the default for now. Okay, we can leave this all on. By default, we are going to have a default encryption set here with server-side encryption with Amazon S3 managed key, so via SSE S3. And now what we can do is we can create our bucket. There we go. So we've successfully created a bucket. So Eden saw a bucket 960. So just a random name that we assigned here. So we can see here is our bucket. Here's the region. So it was created in US East Ohio, US East 2. So access here, a bucket, and our objects are not public. So that means whatever we upload here is safe. No one else will be able to view what's in our bucket. So by default, AWS has that security enabled for us. We can also see the creation date as well. And this is part of our general purpose buckets. We also have directory buckets, but for most of our use, we're just going to have a general purpose bucket. Great, so let's go ahead and click on our bucket here. So Eden sort bucket. Great, so here we go. Now what we can do is we can go ahead and upload our objects. So remember, like I said, files and folders are treated as objects. So what you can do is upload anything you want. You can upload all your files, your folders, anything that you want to this bucket that you have created. So if I head on over to my desktop, I can see I have a text document, I have a few pictures, and I can upload all of this to my Amazon S3 bucket here. If you have a folder, you can also upload that. If I were to demonstrate quickly the folder part, let me just create a folder on my desktop as an example, and I'm just going to call this pictures. And as you can see, I just moved all of the pictures into one folder. So if I open this up, I can see they're all in this folder. So you can decide what you want to do. So let's go ahead and upload everything. So I'm going to say upload. And here you can see we can say add files, add folder, so we can decide what we want to do. You can also drag and drop files and folders that you want here, or you can manually do it. So an easy way to do this is we can just minimize our browser window. Okay, we can just make that a bit wider. Let's scroll down here. And in this space here, files and folders, you can just highlight all of the files and folders you want and drag it and drop it. Very easy. And we can see we have 4 in total. So we can see that we have 3 images here, beach, profile picture, studying, and that all belong to our folder here, which is known as pictures. And we can also see the list.txt file. You can also see the extension of that file that you're uploading. And in total, we'll have 4 objects. All right. So we can go ahead and scroll down. We can see where these files and folders will be uploaded to. So this is my bucket that I created earlier, and you can just say upload. Okay, so we can see here the progress here as it uploads all of the files. And then we can see if we scroll up, okay, the upload was a success and everything was working perfectly. So let's go ahead and close this. And if we scroll down here, we can see that we have 2 objects. So we have our list.txt and we have our pictures folder. So remember, a folder and a file is seen as an object. So if I were to click in pictures, I can see I have 3 objects here which pertain to beach, profile picture, studying. I can see I have all of that set up and ready to go. So that's how you can go ahead and upload files and folders to an Amazon S3 bucket. And essentially that's how you also create an Amazon S3 bucket to store your files and your folders, etc. Something I do also want to show you is, let's say we want to view an object. So let's view one of our pictures. Let's click on pictures here on our pictures folder. And let me click on beach, for example. And let's say I want to view this. I can just go ahead and click on open here. And that's going to open up a new URL, and I can see I'm able to view my image here in AWS itself. Okay, via this link here that it's been provided to me, so I'm able to view this picture. Let's say I wanted to download an object. I can simply go ahead and click on download, and that's going to download that particular object/file that I have right here. And as you can see, it has been downloaded here accordingly. Alright guys, so that's it for this video tutorial. That's how you can go ahead and create your Amazon S3 buckets, how you can upload files and folders to an Amazon S3 bucket, and how you can essentially open them and how you can download them. Now there's a lot more to it, but this is just a very basic way in which you can ensure that you upload your documents accordingly to your Amazon S3 bucket.